TOMz.
Except my better say it's cut to 4 p.m. and that can only mean one thing. TOMz is in a building. Yeah, where's my favorite? And I get TOMz right here on SABC One, Mzansi for sure.
Most definitely, Buffet too. This afternoon, you're going to be chilling with your boys Sia and Caddy, and we'll be giving you nothing but the best of science and technology.
Namhlanje bafethu sikhuluma ngokwakha. I'm sure ungabheka around you uzobona ama structures ahlukahlukene. From indlu yakini, amahhovisi, ama-shops, siyazi ukuthi architecture is around you.
In fact, it's probably a case of you being inside it. Because architecture determines how we move, how we live, and how we find shelter. And I'm trying to lelu daba so unfold kanjani. Let's get it. Hang out with a young lady who knows her bricks from her mix when it comes to architecture. Discover a new way of looking at the world when she unpacks a marvel. What does the term architecture actually mean? Spot where this whole thing all started and even take a look at early times Konala Mzansi. Check out the insane stuff architects are designing for the future. Explore a new place where you can find more information and Solagaban's what it would be like if our cities were underground. Let's get it started.
Now bafethu niyazi ukuthi bese kufika iTOMz kubaluleke kakhulu. Now on Facebook selesaposta umbuzo sanibuza kahle kahle yiziphi i-structure eniyithandayo. Waphendula kudingana wathi yena ke uthanda i-bridge because you can actually travel from point A to point B. Owesibili ke siphethe uSindiso yena ke uthi uthanda indlu yakubo. Very very nice. Now bafethu keep those comments coming in on Facebook and on Twitter. Facebook.com/TOMz, on Twitter @TOMz_SABC_1. Kwamanje ke yasibona ukuthi kahle kahle abangani bethu bona bacabangani.
We're still at Mabode Secondary School. Namhlanje sikhuluma ngebuilt. Ngimene sisi wami lana. Hello.
Hey.
How are you?
I'm fine. You?
I'm good. What's your name?
Jennifer.
Okay, Jennifer. I want to know what is architecture?
Architecture, as being with knowledge and ability to create a plan of a house or a building.
I'd say architecture is more like planning and the planning of a building.
Architecture is like designing of buildings. Let me in fact say infrastructure.
If you had an opportunity to build anything, what would you build?
A mall, definitely.
Why a mall? Hey, now Tanda mall.
Come on, I'm a girl. We all love malls. For like my community, we don't have shops nearby. We take money, travel long distances just to get our needs. So if the mall is nearby, we're gonna get our needs there.
Design a museum.
Why a museum?
Well, there are so much things happening here in the world, like to store, let's say, recent events, like as a reminder to the next generation.
So bafethu we're going to be taking a pretty broad look at the architecture on this episode, and I think ukuthi kubaluleke kakhulu ukuthi sibheke architecture in a professional space ukuthi nizokhona ukuyi-understand kabanzi. Take a look at this video. Architects can perform many different roles, including designer, specification writer, and even construction supervisor. They can be responsible for inventing and realizing a particular idea or project. Architects can also work with other professionals to create buildings that are smart and responsive, and can do things that other buildings before them couldn't do in order to have a smaller impact on the environment. For instance, they can make shading devices that move automatically according to the sun's position. Building structures came about when Abantu blended the need for shelter and security with resources like building materials. As Abantu societies became more sophisticated, building became a craft which was called architecture. Vernacular architecture is one of the oldest forms and is still seen today, as Abantu use local material and traditions to build. Herbert Barker was a famous South African architect who designed many structures here from 1910, including the Union Building. Cool, so now there are massive structures like Mhlabeni, and there's only one structure that can be seen from space, ne? And it is the Great Wall of China, which is 20,000 kilometers long.
Yo, that is about 7 times from Cape Town to Joburg and back. Yo, I get about on our Facebook and Twitter pages. Right now, the quick commercial break.
We'll be back.
TOMz. TOMz.
Hello again, and thank goodness the break is over. Architecture.
Definitely, siyazi ukuthi architecture affects ngendlela esenza ngayo izinto elifini, which is why it is so important for architects to know what they're doing.
Well, fear not, Sia. With this incredible lady who's taking the world of the architecture by storm. Yazin, check this out. It's your boy CAD, who I pronounce Caddy, yet on another mission, but it's running the streets of Pretoria. Namhlanje Mamelodi Extension 5. We're gonna meet up with the young architect Bafethu Owasekasi. Can you believe that? Could a story about humble beginnings get any better? It's you and me in this mission. Asbange. Hello, how are you? I'm good, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Great, it's Caddy.
Leacho.
Nice to meet you, Leacho.
Nice to meet you too.
So I'm with you in my mission today.
Yes.
So tell me, who is Leacho?
Leacho is a final year master's student
Yes.
of architecture at the GSA, the Graduate School of Architecture. And the GSA is the first in Africa. Did you know that?
No.
Meet my parents in the meantime.
Hello, Sanbanan.
Oh, Ninja.
How are you?
I'm good and you?
I'm great. So you're at the high school, obviously.
Yeah.
Talking to the parents now.
Yeah.
Mom, I want to do architecture.
Yeah.
Batin.
Actually, it was mom. I either want to do medicine,
Okay.
I want to be an interior designer,
Okay.
or I want to be an engineer. Because I could really do both with my grades as well. I mean, I did qualify for medicine, I did qualify for engineering, and I did qualify for architecture.
Yeah.
And we applied and we applied. And then UJ accepted me. And
Okay, so your parents were cool with it?
my parents were cool with
Okay,
it.
okay.
My parents were cool with it. They're like, just do you, you'll do best.
Great.
And then 2009, the university was full. And they had accepted me, but they had over-admitted students. Then I took a gap year to decide what I want to do,
Yes.
to understand myself.
Okay.
And straight from high school, I went to work in an architecture firm,
Okay.
right in the city center at the Standard Bank building at Church Square. That was my first job there. So I've been studying for 7 years now.
Wow.
And it hasn't been an easy journey in terms of fees. I've never paid for fees somehow. A plan always happened. I'd always get a sponsor, or I'd work hard and something would always come up, I've always just been so perseverant, and my parents were also very supportive
Okay.
in this journey, yeah.
Okay, so tell me, how did architecture come into mind in a place like this, Pella?
Okay, so basically, this is not our actual home, our final place.
Okay.
I mean, we've moved so many times, I've lost count. And the more you move around, right, the more you've become very sensitive to space, because my space was constantly changing. And then I was really good at maths and science, but art as well. I had art as a subject at high school.
Okay.
And I really wanted something that would encompass both things, and my observation about space, color, light. So architecture really just best suited me and my personality. And I'm really grateful for the struggles that I went through, the homes who kept changing. Believe it or not, they've enlightened me. The use of public transport and not having a car has also helped me understand the city better.
Okay. Okay, so you mentioned that architecture is all about space.
Yes.
But definitely you have different spaces, right?
Yes.
What's your type of space? What kind of space do you like?
I am a historian wannabe. I love history, and I've always loved history. I've read a lot about history. So naturally, historical buildings mean a lot to me.
Okay.
We can literally trace mankind through historical architecture.
So tell me, why do you love Church Square so much?
I love Church Square because I feel like this is the heart of the city, and this is where Pretoria started. Initially it was called Kerkplein, hence the term Church Square. So what basically happened is this was initially a marketplace,
Okay.
and people would come with oxen and wagon, and there were two churches right in the center of the square, hence the name Church Square.
Yes.
Because of the two churches that were here.
Yeah.
And what I like about it is that it's surrounded by so much history, and yet people around it are hardly aware of the rich history that this place bears.
Yeah.
That's the Standard Bank building right there, and I had my first job over there. It meant the world to me. That's the statue of Paul Kruger,
Yep.
and hence the street is actually Paul Kruger. My high school was on Paul Kruger Street.
Oh, yeah?
So this square has memories of me in high school, grade 8, matric. So it's just this feeling of nostalgia. And it's that these open green spaces that are in the city that, they're quite precious to us, because we don't have so much of greenery and openness in the city, where people can just lie down, take pictures, take selfies. I think that's quite pretty. So I'm in a process of reflection where I'm asking myself, where does history fit in all of this?
Yes.
How are these relevant to people
Yes.
nowadays?
Yes.
So, I mean, that's the Standard Bank building, there's the Tudor Chambers, there's the Palace of Justice, there's the old post office, there's Cafe Ritchie, and one of my favorites that's hidden is the Capitol Theatre, which I'll take you to in a second.
What's so special about the old Capitol Theatre?
You're in for a treat.
Okay.
It's hidden, it's a hidden gem, nobody knows about it.
Okay.
I discovered it on a walk of discovery.
That's interesting already.
Wait and see.
Okay, cool. Let's go there.
All right.
Architecture is quite a wide term. It can be used to describe actual buildings and physical structures, or refer to the art and science of designing buildings and structures. Another use would be the style of design and method of construction, or simply the practice of an architect who provides professional services for the built environment. Interestingly enough, the architecture can also just mean the knowledge of art, science, technology, and humanity. Well, we can actually trace history by just looking at our buildings. How dope is that?
Definitely. Now, bafethu besibuye etolo so sidinga kabanzi an alternative way of living.
We'll be back.
Welcome back to TOMz, Racha. On SABC One, Mzansi for sure.
We are in it right now, ne? They probably are too, ne? See? Architecture, see.
Oh, ish.
Well, Samila Bafesa with the young architects navigating the built world using her super skills and mad talents.
Now, bafethu sojula kabanzi kulolu daba. Futhi, I am very excited to see where our one question will take us.
Well, it's gonna take us underground, ne? But for now, let's check this out.
So,
Yo,
ta-da!
must I open my eyes now?
Open. Welcome to the
Yo.
most sophisticated parking lot in the city.
Oh, wow.
This, my dear, is the old Capitol Theatre,
Yo. What happened to this place?
built around 1930.
Yo. So everything is still real?
Everything is still real. This is made out of reinforced concrete with steel. All of this is right under the city, right under your eyes, and you don't even know it.
Now I understand why you love this place so much.
I love it. So this is where all the magic happened.
Yes.
Orchestras, the actors, the dancers, and this was where all the magic was. And hence you can see even the general space or the shape. It's all pointing towards that point, and hence the big arc.
And
you
it's
know.
so big. It's a big stage.
So we've been in Pretoria and we've discussed the old buildings briefly. But now there's a twist, and the twist is in Johannesburg.
Okay.
And this time it's not theory, but this is my work
Okay.
and my take on old buildings in Johannesburg.
Yes.
This is it.
Oh, wow.
Welcome to The Gap, run by the University of Johannesburg and St. Gobain.
Okay.
So right here, this is the first in Africa.
Okay.
This is called the UNIT system,
Okay.
run by the GSA, the Graduate School of Architecture. And this is where I study. Unit 10
Yes.
is called Politics and Poetics. But ba nagana gore re dira politiki as in DA, ANC. Kanti that's not the case. Hoka sheba, space is a very political element. Gore ke mang a dirisa eng jang ka nako e feng. So this unit interrogates those questions. Gore ke mang a nang ownership over what is in space. And how do we cohabit space together?
Yeah.
This is my schoolwork, right? And then more, ke tlhopile the drill hole as my study focus.
Okay.
So FANA is the existing plan. So these three drawings really ke nagana ke re jaanong ke tlo go dirang for my thesis project. As ke buile earlier ka re ke tlo go focus mo di heritage building wa bona.
Yes.
So ke tlhopile tsena as my study focus.
Okay.
So jaanong mona ena gate ke montage.
Yes.
How can we reinterpret the urban square?
Yes.
Because currently it's just an island really. It's empty. So yanong ebenakere nomen. I could use the square as ngadira experiment. What if the square became a garden? You know, yanong fana is another composite drawing.
Okay.
Janong, we're looking at this same drawing in section. This drawing khatiki section,
Okay.
So wabona yanong ibile ke bontshitse gore fana mo tempeleng. Re ka rekisa ditamati, re ka etsang, ne? Janong, below the square there's a rifle range.
Yes.
And ga ke itse if wa tseba gore this was the place where the treason trial was held. Ga gona opa tsebang like currently, and
Really?
No, batho ga ba itse. So janong teng modimo ga this existing rifle range. E be ke dira yana gore how can this be a garden, right? These are literally just drawings more ke anagana gore ke ipotsa gore mara ke a kae ka project ena. So it's still early stages.
Oh. Okay, so tell me, what is the process of architecture? Because I mean, this looks like art and fits.
Wait again, ne? Potse eo is a tough one because ga gona ope ana leng karabo, you know. At the end of the day, we're all individuals and ga re bereki in the same manner.
Yeah.
Go sheba this student ene o berekile ka photography. So ene for instance una shebile Ponty through different levels, and Hoka Sheba and Udirisite photo montage to explore her concept yako Ponty, and then Eba Anka line drawing from the montage. And then Hoka Sheba students Sena Kafa, they work in a completely different way. Ona Udirisa line work, models, Gilabon. So this is literally a picture of his model. And Fana, he's imagining space, but for him what works the quickest way is to drawing and line. And Janong and Na, I'm a bit different where I work with layering and layering and layering and layering and layering. So I think in essence to sum it up, the process is really still undefined to this day.
Yo, alright guys, I'll never see spaces and architecture the same. I'm inspired. You know what, in fact, I think I've got a concept. Away. There are many different specific aspects to architecture. One of the most recent ones is looking at how tiny creatures called microbes lived in a building with humans. There are billions of them in every building, and the number is affected by the building materials, paints, finishes, and even the design. Lama microbes lawa can sometimes cause illnesses to Abantu, which is why architects are now considering them. There is also a sustainability aspect where architects are designing buildings that are good for the environment. Here they look at things like the amount of sunlight that enters the building, winds, catching rainwater, and heating the building without using electricity.
Now bafethi TOMz inazi ukuthi sathanda ukuthi siphume ngaphandle sonivakashela ezikoleni zenu. Wena lapha ekhaya if uyayibona kumabonakude wakho njengamanje then ungaku Facebook naku Twitter uyitag. Noma ke uma usafuna TOMz ize esikoleni sakho, then do the right thing by simply dropping us an email on tomz@sabc.co.za. For now though, asibose kahle kahle kwisikolo sethu namhlanje what went down.
For the month. Nigrand.
Yeah, sharp.
Limnat.
Yeah.
Okay guys, if you guys had to design anything in a building, what would you design? A mall? Yeah. What kind of a mall? Double story?
No, flat.
Okay, cool. Let me tell you about this website, ne? It's called www.tinkercad.com, ne? You can basically build anything on that website. So if you want to build a mall, you can build a mall and you can have anything. And the nice thing about it is you can build everything in 3D. Yeah. How dope is that?
Okay, yeah.
Don't forget,
easy, yeah.
tinkercad.com.
Tinkercad.com.
Away. Cheers, guys, ne?
Sure.
Sharp. You know, the future section is my favorite buffet because there are no limits to what people are getting up to these days. And the best thing is that they are making it happen. Yazin, sing tool, beganla. In the future, many of our buildings will be made from wood or mud. Abanye bathi that buildings should become more lifelike and respond to temperatures automatically. Once architects created a skin to do this, which forms an adaptive coat around a building similar to clothing or skin. 2 architects designed an inflatable concert hall that can be set up in 2 hours and transported on a truck. Woo! And some aspects believe that underground living and building will be more and more popular.
Yo, now that is weird for us as South Africans. What if cities were actually underground?
Well, the temperature underground is much lower and can be easily controlled, which means more comfort and less energy spent on making spaces feel just right. Underground cities are also laid out differently, with no informal interference, which means you'll travel from one place to the next quicker, so no taxi drama. Abantu who live underground don't experience the harmful UV rays from the sun, which protects them against cancer and other diseases. On the downside, they also don't get enough healthy sunlight to provide all the nutrition necessary for a healthy life. Kodwa underground cities means more space above ground, which opens up enough room for us to breathe in those crowded areas. It might also be safer down there because access would be easier to control than in open cities. Oh, I love that. Aha mfethu TOMz iniphathele indaba ezimnandi khona lapha emakhaya.
Njalo kayibethana yazi sinobele sothanda ukuphisa na ngokufika ixesha lokuphisa.
So lapha ekhaya ufune idea episode ufuna ukuyibona khona la ku TOMz, all you have to do is
send us the idea bafethu, and if it's fresh and brilliant we'll make it a TOMz official episode khona la ku SABC 1.
And not only that, kaloku bethana you get a goodie bag as well as a skipper so TOMz 1.
So lapha ekhaya all you have to do is send through your ideas on Facebook, which is facebook.com/TOMz. On Twitter we are simply @TOMz_SABC_1.
And that's how we wrap up this show, bafethu. Thank you so much for tuning in to TOMz namhlanje. Ngakhodla bafethu ukuthi the revolution still carries on our social media pages. You can ask us anything, bafethu, anything, or you can go onto our website at www.tomz.co.za.
Now, did you have a great time?
Yeah, I did.
I also hope that Lapeka, you also had a great time. Right now, though, it's time for us to love and leave you guys. It's goodbye. Here's what's coming up next time on TOMz. Get bright and early with a young dude who saw an opportunity and grabbed it with both his hands. A business plan is critical to starting a new venture. See what goes into it. Entrepreneurship it's going to affect you. Explore the future of the business. Feast your eyes on some handy tips for starting your very own thing. And it may not all be about money, but what if money didn't exist? TOMz every Monday and Tuesday at 4 p.m. Kola Lago SABC 1 Mzansi for sure.